This is Q.I.Q, the question in question. Brought to you by TherapyBites Art Lab. Here to take a bite out of modern-day pseudo-psychological psycho-malarkey. Now entering the Art Lab studio, today's T-Ballers, a collection of fellow strugglers, confronting personal challenges, navigating precarious relationships, and tackling trauma. Humans like each of us, juggling difficult human emotions, each here with unique life experiences, lived stories, and questions we'll bite into that just might help you too. And now, entering the Art Lab studio for the 9,880th time is the host of TherapyBites Q.i.Q, Doc Heath.
Hey guys, welcome to QiQ, and I'm so glad that you guys, making sure my mic is on, so glad that you guys are here, and those of you catching the replay, we are glad that you're here too. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're here, and I almost wasn't because we had just a crazy thunderstorm that the local news service, as good as they are, notified us in the middle of the thunderstorm. I think, wow, thank you guys so much. A little bit late, but thank you guys for joining us, and we're going to hop in to another episode of QiQ. We're going to join together to see if we can learn some cool psychological concepts. I'll be popping the answers up on the screen, and your job, of course, is to come up with the proper response in the phrase of a question. And let's go to the board to look at our categories. As always, we have Couch Crumbs Quotes. We have Creature Feature. Up next is Social Media Smackdown. We don't always go in order this one on the board, but yeah, sometimes, usually we do. Fresh from the Therapy Couch, actually down to earth struggles that people deal with. Couch Crumbs Newsletter, and Nero, also called Psych Secrets. And the first answer comes from Couch Crumbs Newsletter, and I will put that in the chat so you guys can take a gander at it. What do you think about that? Take a gander at it. Anybody else use that kind of language? And the answer is, for 200 Psy Coins, this is a regular column in the Couch Crumbs Newsletter, penned by Dr. Ima Freudnot. And those of you that get her newsletter, gosh, that's such an easy one for you. For those that don't, we can easily remedy that. All you have to do is text your email address to 1-870-686-4196. That's 1-870-686-4196. Free newsletter. We put it out every other week. And if you know the answer, or actually the question, I just gave the answer to that particular item, and I don't see anything popping up there just yet, but the question is, what is Ima's Art Lab? And that's going to be in the newsletter that I think that comes out on Friday. So we hope that you get that. Let's go back to the board and grab our next item there. It comes from Social Media Smackdown, one of my favorites, and I will put it up on the board so everyone can benefit. Let me just grab it right here. And this is an oldie but a goodie. And then I'll give us what? actually about 60 seconds, but we will go to our first, we call it a drop, advertisement, whatever, and you take a look at that, and we'll be right back after this.
You are a fellow human struggling with difficult emotions, a fracturing relationship, parenting problem, mental health difficulty, have a psychotherapy from hell story to tell, or a challenging life experience question, and would like to share your story by stepping up to bat as a T-baller, either register by texting Q.i.Q to 1-870-686-4196 and join our Therapy Bites community, or send a postcard with your name, address, phone number, email address, and age to the address on the screen. Therapy Bites, Q.i.Q, P.O. Box 1391, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 72403-1391.
And we do love getting postcards, letters, whatever you want to send. Just put a stamp on it. Stamp goes in the upper right-hand corner, by the way. I understand that some high schoolers don't know that these days. Where do you put a stamp on an envelope or a postcard? Upper right-hand corner, at least in the U.S. For 400 Psycho and Social Media Smackdown, this particular profession is dead. We say that tongue-in-cheek. You'll understand in a moment. It metastamized at the hands of over-diagnosing. Have you noticed? There's just a diagnostic frenzy. Everything has to be diagnosed this day. In this day and age. You're not cool, evidently, unless you have trauma. And you have trauma if, I don't know, you didn't get a puppy dog for Christmas, or a hippopotamus for Christmas, or your parents didn't buy you enough Nerds on a Rope. Every unfortunate experience is trauma, but that's not the case. That's what's killing this profession. And it met its death at the hands of pill-pushing social media brain clinicians, making a living by catastrophizing normal human experience. I'll put it back up on the board because that's a lot of words. 400 Psycoins. Anybody have the proper question there? And I do notice the clock is zeroed out. The question is, and just for your entertainment and education, we're all about the education. What is psychotherapy? And if you're on social media, understand something. Usually on social media, people that are into the woo-woo psychology, that be careful those emotions, they'll kill you. You got to stop them. Anytime you have a difficult emotion, you need to do something, get rid of those. They're usually trying to sell you something. Be aware of that, and don't drink the Kool-Aid. Let's go back to the board for our next item, and that's going to come from Couch Crumbs Quotes. Right there we go. And I will grab that answer. Oh, wow, look at that. That is for 800 Psycoins, and I will put that up on the board once I find the right button to click. I'll give you some extra time because I'm slow. My fingers are slow. I'm still recovering from the trauma of the blackout. Okay, Couch Comes Quotes. Psychiatrist who said everything can be taken from a man or a person, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. To choose one's own way. Isn't that cool? I mean, how empowering is that? Everything can be taken from a person, but one thing, the last and greatest of all freedoms, the last and greatest of all things, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Look at that. Somebody nailed it. We're not even at the end of the clock, and somebody nailed it. Let's go to the board, and congratulations on that. What can you do when you win Psycoins? Well, you can redeem them for cool merchandise from the TherapyBites store, and we hope you do. We have hats and stickers and t-shirts and even some socks. Cool socks. They'll make you stick out. And William Downs got that also. Thank you, William. We'll give credit to both those. That is 800 Psycoins, 800 Psycoins to HOEBE. Oh, where's my fingers? And I keep on misspelling it. And now it's capitalized. Phoebe and William. I'm having to cradle my mic to do that. I should reposition that, but thank you guys for sticking with me. Let's grab the next one. The next one is going to be from, we'll get back to the board here. It's going to be from Creature Feature. It is for 600 Psy coins. And let me copy paste, and I will put that on the board when we get back from the next segment.
If you plan on being in the local area of your podcast player app and would like complimentary tickets to the TherapyBites Q.i.Q Art Lab studio audience, please search TherapyBites on your device and just smash that subscribe button. Your complimentary ticket grants you access to alerts so you'll never miss a show.
Thank you, William. We'll put that up on the board, and this one is for 400 Psy coins, also from Creature Feature. And the answer is, George's stomach hurts. He thinks, based on a web search, he must have some form of cancer. He must have some form of cancer. By the way, the earlier one, if I speak up at work and voice my opinion, coworkers will know I don't know what I'm talking about. That is, what is the mind-reading gnat, negative automatic thought, and catastrophizing ant, automatic negative thought. Gnats, ants, same thing. We just like having fun with the little creature critters. But this one is for 400 Psy coins. George's stomach hurts. He thinks, based on a web search, Dr. Google, he must have some form of cancer. And the question is coming your way in 4 seconds and counting. The question is, what is the catastrophizing ant? It's going to be bad. And the underthinking ant. What is the underthinking ant? That is ignoring important aspects of a situation. Ignoring important aspects of the situation. You know, you hear people talking about overthinking. Personally, in a lot of years of private practice, 3 decades actually, I've not ever run into somebody that is overthinking, that actually think too much. It's always underthinking. They are ignoring important aspects of the situation. And look, William said the dirty word there. We don't talk, the whole toxic thing, chemicals can be toxic. Radioactivity can be toxic. Humans who have been irradiated can be toxic. But we don't play the whole toxic game in the art lab or with those we coach because it's a zero-sum game. you start saying that you're toxic, I'm toxic, everybody's toxic, and unless you're talking about the chemical industry, we like to leave the word, toxic out of it there. But the next item here is going to come from, let's go back to the board. Give me just a minute. The board's coming up. This is from Nero, way at the very end, and it is for 800 Psy-Coins. And I will put this in the chat. You guys can take a look and canoodle your noodle, see what you come up with, and we'll be back with the answer. It's right there in the chat.
Premier accommodations for our T-Ball contributors provided electronically by the luxurious Art Lab Studio, overlooking the steaming cesspool of pseudo-psychological social media psychomalarkey and located in cyberspace on your favorite podcast hosting platform, where we invite you to the most psychomalogically thrilling podcast in town, while you feast on our award-winning psychologically nutritious buffet of TherapyBites cuisine, conscientiously cooked up by your hard-working T-Ball team chefs.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. And, I'm going to have to stop pushing the mute button because I always forget to push it back on. I need like an alarm bell or something when I'm back on live. But the answer is, I'll put it up here on the board, is it's the TherapyBites concept on which one of our creature characters is based to teach us how humans are often allow themselves to be distracted from an unrecognized cognition. In other words, it just distracts your attention. And there's a thing in logic called a red herring, which distracts you from the point of the argument. This distracts you from some self-sabotage that your brain is doing. Instead of identifying it, you're pointed way over there, away from what's really going on. And would you look at that? Good job, William. Man, I wish I had the fanfare button here. I'm not sure exactly where my fanfare button went, but good job there, man. That is 800 Psy-Coins, and I'll put that here, 800 PC for William. And what can you do with those? Again, you can keep adding them up and get some cool stuff from the TherapyBites store. And that's all we have for this evening. By the way, this is an open book test. Yes, I know we started out saying don't Google things, but some of these concepts are kind of difficult, and it is an open book test. You can use Google, look them up. Maybe you'll get them right, maybe you won't. We try to give you new material that you can't easily find on Google. And if you have a question for us, you can simply send it to 870-686-4196, and your question can be on Q.i.Q. Catch us back here Thursday, 7 o'clock Central. Bring a friend, bring a guest. We'd love to have all, and everyone is always welcome. Have a great evening, guys. We'll catch you next time.
Next time on TherapyBites Art Lab Q.i.Q, Doc Keith and T-Ball callers face off against steaming piles of pseudo-psychological psychomalarkey directly from your favorite social media platforms, or perhaps from the psychotherapy couch of a pill-pushing, emotion-demonizing, bobble-headed, woo-woo clinician who fed their kooky Kool-Aid to you. This is Art Potto speaking. TherapyBites Q.i.Q is a Dr. I'm a Freud-Not production. Distributed by the TherapyBites Art Lab Podcast.